Hey, thought I'd do a review on my Benchmade Nimravus Cub. This is the smaller of the two, and this is from the original run, so it doesn't have the new fancy sheaths or the enlarged choil area. But this knife has been a faithful companion to me through many a deer hunt and times out in the woods, as you'll see by the finish. Again, more deer fat that just gets stuck in the sheath and it's hard to get out. You see the corners. The Benchmade black has never been a good finish. It's adequate at best. You see all the corners worn, all scratched up, all worn off. But the fact is this piece of steel is amazing. ATS 34, for those of you who didn't read it in the beginning. And Alan Ellerschwitz is the designer of this one. I've always liked his stuff. He really makes some good looking blades. G10 scales, and they're riveted on, so if I get it too nasty I can pop them off and give it a good cleaning. They fit tight. It's a perfect design for me for that. It's more of a fighting blade than anything else. Not really great camp utility knife, although it works around camp for some food prep because it's light and small. The blade width is thin this way, very thin this way, and long enough to do the job. I've never been a fan of the combo edge blades, but Benchmade didn't offer this any other way that I could find back then, and I had a steal on this one. The guy that had this on the counter. It was the first fixed blade Benchmade I had ever seen, and he said it was the same for him. They were going for $105 at the time, and I asked him, well, shit, I've never seen one of these before. What do you want for it? He told me $80. So I snatched her up. I haven't looked back. This steel, I don't know what they did. ATS 34 back in the day with Benchmade was amazing. This has gutted 3 deer and hasn't needed to be sharpened, and it usually doesn't need to be no matter what I do to it. I've sharpened it a few times over the years, but I have 3 deer on it right now, and that's a lot of work. Anybody who's gutted a deer knows how quick that dulls a blade, cutting through the hair and all that fat and sinew. This thing is a razor, and it just doesn't seem like it'll quit. The feel of this knife, a little bit of jimping on the spine, is not so deep that it causes you hot spots or pain from using it for long periods of time, but it is enough that you won't slide up on it. The design of the handle really fills the hand well considering how small it is, and I like the divots they put in the G10 because when I hold it sideways to do light work, like gutting the deer, the little pinch hold right there is perfect, and it's such a light knife. So I have to give him all the credit that I can think of for designing this little bad boy. I mean, it'd probably be a great fighter in the full size, but for a little backup knife or for a carry fixed blade that really wouldn't scare the sheeple too much, other than it looks, tactical, this one is it. I saw that they were making one in like a desert sand color. That was pretty sharp. I thought about buying another one even though I don't need it. Has a spot for a lanyard. Never found the need for it. This one's so light and nice. You just don't ever set it down. And like I said, it's a great design. The only thing I would change on the entire knife is I would bring this nub out more to give it a better choil, because I think you could slide forward on it if you got too muddy or bloody. I know I've slid around on it a little bit with the fat on the hands because that's like grease. But they did remedy that on the second model. So my complaint was fixed after I bought this one a few years later. It is a fine blade and well put together. If you guys are thinking of getting one because you're collecting and you like stuff, this is one you'll use, and I think you'll enjoy for quite a long time. Especially if you can find it. I know they make them in D2 now. And if you can still find an ATS 34 instead of some other steel, I think you'll really enjoy it, because the Benchmade ATS 34, especially from back in the day, is just amazing. They really had it right. The real complaint about this knife is not in the knife at all, but in this ridiculous sheath. They tried to look cool, which they did not accomplish, by wrapping a type of carbon fiber around the knife and then wrapping a Kydex around the carbon fiber and having this strap go from the bottom screw up to this pretty useless belt loop. I can fit my normal belt through there. My concealed carry belt really doesn't want to get through there because it's wider this way, not height wise but wider, and this wants to open up to, and it just seems to be a pain. The one good thing about it is if you are able to get it on your belt, the knife does click in very, very securely, and they give you a little rounded out spot at the front here. I found it just like a thumb push. You grab it and off she comes. So I wouldn't mind having the one with the thumb toggle, and maybe eventually I'll get one for this blade because I don't ever plan on getting rid of it. It's just a great side knife to carry. You forget you have it, and you really, I love this one. And a good faithful companion. It's kind of like that Becker sheath. I just did the other video on the Becker. It's kind of a crappy sheath. Again, the belt hook up. Look how open that is. I mean, unless they expect you to be carrying this on a pistol belt, a military pistol belt, it's just going to flop around. Then you got to tie it down. It'd be good for a pack, I guess. But the one great thing about this is, hear that thing go in? Forward or reverse. This one's only one way. And it's a pull, and it won't fall out of that thing. So you don't really need the strap unless you're moving a lot, or you're going to wear it upside down type deal. But even then, it would, if it did break loose, it would slide out to there, and you'd probably still get cut. But at least you can lash it to stuff. So this one doesn't give you that opportunity, and with that belt loop, it doesn't make it a lot easier. This one gives you the opportunity to lash it to stuff, but in wearing it, it's kind of heavy and floppy. Anyways, just a quick little bit on some knives I got. Ones I've had and used a long time, and I like both of them. Alright, stay safe.